What's up, kittens? Good morning. I'm on my morning walk, which, what a gift that it's finally has stopped raining in the morning so I could get out here. This is so, needed for my mental health to be able to get outside and at least walk a loop. I don't care if it's a 15-minute loop. I would prefer a 2-hour loop. That is my preference because I can typically get through a short and long podcast, or if I'm really involved in a book, I can get through a good portion of it to be able to allow the connections of the whatever it is that I'm receiving, that I'm able to connect the topics, I think, in a more robust way rather than when I'm doing these short spurts of time, because sometimes I forget details and then I gotta rewind and I listen again and then I'm like, wait, did they say that the first time? I'm like, I don't even remember. So anyways, I am listening to, this is like in the middle of the podcast because I am just so excited about this experience right now where I found the new episode of the Terri Cole show, who, if you don't know who Terri Cole is, she provides practical, actionable advice on how to set boundaries and how to work through your stuff and then figure out what you even like and then set your boundaries around those. So very helpful for a recovering codependent such as myself to get those boundaries. So Terri Cole is interviewing Danielle LaPorte, who is literally one of the most notable in my spiritual journey. Her book, The Desire Map, was and still is one of the only books that I listen to every year because I have such an emotional connection and it can help me unblock so much stagnant energy. And I'm not saying that's for everyone's going to have that experience. I'm just saying that I have had that experience. Like during any major transition, I try to listen to this book, even if it's 2 times or 3 times, because it is so helpful for me to touch into stuck energy. And I really appreciate that. So anyways, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to listen to on my morning walk, and the podcast was there. So I picked it and I started listening to it. And I feel so seen by Danielle's experience, reflecting back to me so many of these, in the sense of goal setting. The goal can have, and I'm talking about if you have an IEP or individual education plan for special ed. If you have a goal, the goal is broken down into 3 smaller goals. So essentially she's talking about how she has come up to multiple short-term goals, such as first she surrendered all of her stuff and surrendered to the experience of being not sure what to do, then surrendering, and then literally surrendering, and then wanting stuff back to arrive at the overall goal of this new spiritual self-awareness that she is living. I feel like she has exemplified and verbally expressed what it feels like to go through the magic dark and to arrive, as Lacey Phillip calls it, the magic dark, that time of waiting, the full circle. She showed the full circle of an up level. My arm was getting tired. I had to change my hand because my shoulder was starting to get yuck. There's so many blue jays today. It's really fun. Anyways, so Danielle LaPorte, this podcast episode with Terri Cole is about essentially her up level, from the shaking of the foundation to the surrendering to the exploration to the figuring it out of what to do, what not to do, what the boundaries are, what are you looking for, and then and having the actionable behavior behind it of actually surrendering to her higher being, her higher source, and then actually surrendering the desires that she was like, I need these right now so that way I can feel like I'm living this most aligned life. Like, I need these things to satiate me, actually. That's what I want to say. That I need these things to satiate me. And then she realized that she actually didn't need any of that stuff. She was totally cool with just being like, okay, this isn't the case right now. And then realizing, oh, actually, now that I've had this time alone and I've been trying to figure out this experience, I actually do want these things. And I am deserving and I am worthy, and raising that frequency to be able to access the level of an amount of divine alignment with that desire becoming a manifestation in this earthly dimension. I think it's so fun. I'm going to go finish listening to it. I'm almost done with my walk, so I listen at 1.5, so I think I can make it by the end of this. Okay, I'll be back. This episode really okay. I just passed a license plate that had 4 digits and it was 6667. So I was like, oh, in math that means 6 goes on forever. Curious, I'll be checking out the numerical meaning of the number 6 when I go inside. Anyways, I have just had like a very lovely, lovely walk. I was able to literally finish the podcast just as I arrived back to where I'm staying. So that was nice. And I am really grateful to have been able to hear Danielle's story, because there's a lot of things in there that I feel like are both universal and also definitely relate directly to a lot of my own spiritual growth. And that is why I'm going to suggest, if any of this resonates, just click on the link and listen. I'd love to know what you think. And if any of it actually, how has it shown up in your own life, if at all?